Hi, my name is Dawn Strait. I am giving a presentation on Chapter 9 of our textbook on oral communication. Um, Next, the definition of communication is the process of transmitting information from one person to another to create a shared understanding and feeling. Simply, it's transmitting or conveying information. Next, we study the communication process. This is encoding, which is forming a message like I am doing. Next, the encoded information is being sent, which is what I am doing through the video camera. And that's the medium used to send the message. And then the next step, decoding, is the message being interpreted by the receiver, which is what you are doing. And next, the feedback is the reply showing that the message is received, which is what the professor will do. Next, we have noise, that's any disturbance to the message. Next, we have one-way and two-way communication. One way is where the sender sends the message and does not get any reply. That's good. The message goes in one direction. Two-way communication is where the message goes two ways because the sender gets a reply from the receiver. Is going in two directions. Next, we study nonverbal communication. The definition is communication that is not spoken or written. Body language is any movement or gesture or expression that conveys information to others. Example is fidgeting can be a sign of nervousness. We've got Morse code. We've got the look, which is when I was young, my mom would, if I was going to do something wrong, her brown eyes would glare at me and she'd get a frown on her face, and I knew I wasn't supposed to do that or there'd be consequences. And I inherited that look and I gave it to my son, and I got the same results. Next, verbal intonation. This is the emphasis given to words and phrases. It's just not what you say, but it's how you say it. For instance, you could say, please go get me the chair, or please go get me the chair. I remember when I was in drama, to show emphasis, we would put check marks over our words in the script, and like we would put one check mark over a word, and if we put two check marks, that got more emphasis, and this is how we would study for our performances. Next is task interdependence. When one person or unit is dependent on another person or resource for information to get work done, communication needs increase. We have pooled interdependence. This is where you can work. I remember working for a call center where we were selling magazines. We all worked for the same company, but we talked to the people over the phones, and we didn't talk to our other employees as much. Next is sequential interdependence. We needed to communicate a little bit more with our other employees. This is mostly done on the assembly line. Now we have reciprocal interdependence. This is when there's a lot of communication needed. It's when you're doing maybe a research project in the company. Barriers to effective communication. Selective perception. This is when we selectively see and hear based on our expectations and beliefs. Misperceptions is messages are not always decoded by the receiver in the way that the sender intended. We may not be listening intently, and so we get misunderstandings. Or there could be filtering. This is when you ignore the sender ignores the bad things maybe and just tells the good things that are happening to get a good performance review. Next, more barriers. Information overload is when the sender gives the receiver more information than they can process at one time. We have organizational barriers, and this is where the top managers don't communicate information to the lower employees. They're each dealing with different things. Cultural barriers, you go to a different country, different gestures mean different things. For example, in Afghanistan, the thumb ups mean the middle finger. Next, we have the manager, noise is a barrier, and noise is anything that blocks, distorts, or changes the way the information the sender intended to communicate. And we have like the internet goes down, or we have static or whispering. We have ambiguity. This is the meaning of words. Like, for example, soon might mean 1 hour to someone, or it could mean a day to someone else. So you have to clarify the words that are ambiguous. Next, we have communication skills for effective leadership. Listening. Be an active listener. Become actively involved in the process of listening to what others are saying and clarifying messages meaning. Give the speaker nonverbal signs that you are listening, maybe a nod of the head or eye contact. Do not interrupt, and clarify and ask questions at the end of what they are saying. Written communication. Write to express and not to impress. Get to the point. Support your point with statistics and examples. Edit and revise. Check for grammar and spelling. Format for readability. Do not write in a passive voice. Presentation. Speak up and speak clearly. Channel nervous energy into enthusiastic delivery. Use gestures to express your ideas. Move freely. Look at your audience. Emphasize important parts. Your concluding words should be remembered. Communication skills, your meeting skills. Have a good reason to meet and have a good agenda. Have good preparation. Make sure that your employees get the agenda ahead of time so they can study it and then get to the meeting on time and set a time limit. Stick to the agenda during the meeting. Have them ask questions about the agenda. And after the agenda, follow up. I remember I've been to meetings where they stuck to the agenda, stuck to the time limit, and I learned a lot. And then I've been to meetings where they went off the agenda and they spent hours of talking about old problems that was in management, and it was just a waste of my time. So I appreciate good agendas. Next, communication media. We have, of course, the internet, and we have the information pool when someone requests information. Receives requested information, or information pool when someone receives information without requesting it, but maybe they can use it later. We have collaboration software, Microsoft SharePoint, Groupware, where we can work on projects with people across the world and have it on our computer at the same time that we're working on it. Intranet, a website stored on the computer that is connected to other company computers by an internal network. Employees reach the intranet site with a standard web browser such as Netscape. They have passwords to get on. Webcasts are broadcasted over a company intranet with pre-recorded video segments. Communication media. Oral communication. Managers will always be needed to have communication verbally. Face-to-face is the richest type of communication. Written correspondence is the lowest. We have different directions of communication. We have downward, we have upward, we have horizontal, we have diagonal. We have formal and informal. Formal is official permanent record of exchange. Informal is gossip, the grapevine. Some of the information is true, some of the information is not true. Of course, we have social media. New employees use social networking to learn how to do their job. Employees are connected to a lot of other employees. The information flows freely. If not, then the network is more closed. Next, we have improve your skills, establish rapport, take control of the situation, confident posture with eye contact, avoid a weak handshake, tips for effective email, separate personal and business email, respond to all parts of the email, read over your emails, only send to the person that needs to receive the emails. Question: what are some of your strong communication skills? What are some of your communication skills that you feel that you could improve on? Thank you.